What's going on, guys? Back again discussing Game of Thrones, Episode 9. Back again with another week of spoilers. This time it's Battle of Bastards, the episode we've all been waiting for, right? Right, D-Way?
Yep. It's been building up to this all season.
Yeah, I mean, it's been building up since, what, Episode 2 or so?
Shit really won. I mean, it brought Snow back, and well, I mean, I guess, but I mean, like Sansa escaped in episode 1. I mean, I think it
Yeah.
was always kind of where we were leading to. My nose is itching.
So, quick introductions. I'm Magic, this is Ben here, Ben Gilbert. He doesn't, he doesn't want to go by his gamer tag, so hi, Ben. How you doing?
What? I don't mind. Oh, I was just
That's
saying.
what you said
it's
last
not.
week.
Well, that's because I was saying I like everybody who knows this knows my gamer tag, but the people who are just like Game of Thrones fans and stumble upon it are like,
Yeah,
why
well,
do they
it's
have
your
these
YouTube
weird
name.
fucking comic book
Just-
nicknames?
It's your it's your YouTuber name. Think of it that way. You know, PewDiePie is not his real name, is it? No.
Well, yeah, that's true. I think I am actually listed as like Ben Gilbert on YouTube, though. Is a funny thing.
Yeah, well, that's your stupid fault. And Omega D's, the Deezus,
Sup,
Sapnin.
Jesus. Sapnin.
Bitches.
All right, so let's get right into it. So, I mean, before we get into the Jon stuff, I mean, the episode actually started out really well. I was hoping it'd be nothing but the Battle of the Bastards, but I mean, I didn't mind the Daenerys stuff right at the beginning. It kind of mixed in there.
I really like the part with Grey Worm and the leaders
Grey Worm.
and Tyrion. Yeah, I remember he's like, one of you has
Oh.
to die.
Wait, what? Is that the same name as the guy in Lord of the Rings? Oh, that's Wormtongue or whatever, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you were
If
talking
Rand
about
was
the Lord
here.
of the Rings guy. I'm pretty sure it's Wormtongue, but continue. Yeah, you're talking about when they
Yeah,
were
that was a
meeting
great
with the
bit.
group. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he actually ends up killing two of them. He was supposed to only kill one, but he's like, fuck that, and he like cuts both their throats in one swing.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then Tyrion's like, go back and tell everybody and remind them what happened.
I thought it was cool that how Daenerys basically took over with her dragons. I thought it was a little too coincidental that she's like, all right, flying by the other dragons, and they just so happen to know to break out of their cage right now and come fight with me.
Well, yeah, but I think that one was like kind of the alpha dragon. And,
Yeah, but still, it's like what the other ones sense that they're flying over, and they're like, all right, time to break out.
Well, wasn't the dragon like screeching shit? I mean, doing his little dragon calls.
Well, he did it when he passed by there on the way to pick up Daenerys. They didn't break out then. But whatever. That's minor thing.
I also like that bit with Tyrion and Daenerys when he's first trying to explain himself. He's like, I know this might look bad, but trust me,
Yeah.
the city's on the rise.
But do you watch the like little developer discussion thing at the end?
Not usually, no. Every once in a
Well, they
while.
kind of touched on that, basically how like Tyrion has done a good job, but she comes back at like the worst point to see, everything's in shit. Like she basically expected to come back to that, and that's what she did come back to, but she didn't get to see all the work that went
Hard
into
work.
yeah, that he was actually doing. But no, I thought it was cool to see Daenerys, take over with the dragons. Actually riding them around. I think that's hopefully we're gonna get into more of that next season. Now with they finally met up with the Greyjoys.
Yeah, that was a nice bit too. There was a big like woman power theme to this episode.
Yeah. Oh, you mean with Sansa too?
Well, yeah, the Sansa stuff, the Daenerys stuff, even like her from the Iron Isles being like, I want to be queen. And there was that nice bit of like, why should you be king? And he's like, I'm not fit to lead. I'm talking about her.
Yeah. I thought there was a
some
little
great
bit of
dialogue.
like, I don't know. Did it seem like a little bit of coincidence too that how similar they were? I mean, I guess it's nothing new. Well, just how they're going back and forth saying like, oh well, we both have shitty
Both our
dads.
fathers were pieces of shit.
Yeah, we're both women trying to rule. That's new, and there was like one or two other things, but
Well, yeah, there was some nice little like back and forth there. It's like Iron Isles ever had a female ruler? She's like has Westeros. There's like
Yeah,
these nice
yeah.
little touches, like touche. You know?
and then
So,
she's
yeah.
part of the pact was that they have to stop raiding And I guess now they agreed to
and
that.
raping and shit.
Yeah,
She's like,
reaving
all
or
right,
whatever.
small
Yeah.
price to pay for power.
So did that little pact? Did it seem like they were going to be kind of separate from the Seven Kingdoms? Like they're going to be their own, or it
No,
just
I
seemed like
mean
they're going to be under control of
when
her.
you rule the Seven Kingdoms, I mean there's still like a Warden of the North and leaders
Yeah.
of houses and stuff. So I mean, I mean like I'm sure she still has to answer to Daenerys, who's kind of like the over. It's kind of like the president versus like a state governor. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, yeah,
Like
I know.
every
Yeah.
state has a governor, but it's still like.
Well, there was one point in there where it made it. She said something to the effect of like it sounded like they were gonna be on their own, I guess. Oh, because he said the Targaryens took the Iron Islands, and we just want them back. And then she responded. I can't remember exactly what she said, but it kind of sounded like they wanted to be independent of the Seven Kingdoms. But I don't think
Funny thing
Daenerys
is,
wanted that.
it
Oh,
has like real group of people that are loyal to her in Westeros. Like her first real connection, I guess you would say.
her first what? You're kind of chopping up.
Yeah.
Like her first like real connection in Westeros. She's always kind of been on her own and like across the sea.
Oh yeah,
So she didn't really have any alliances. That makes the Greyjoys of all people her first real alliance with anybody in Westeros.
yeah, yeah. Especially in terms of
So
like someone with an actual army versus just one or two people here or there.
well, yeah, because they got like what 1,000 ships or something. I don't know, something like that, or
They
hundreds.
were too clear how many ships that they actually had. Was it 1,000 that they had ready to go and that they stole?
The Iron Irons
Seemed to
people,
be.
they said 100.
Oh, is it 100?
Yeah, she asked Tyrion. He said with those ships plus what they got from the people that the slave dudes,
Yeah.
it'd be like just at 1,000 or just at what they needed or whatever.
So was that just like so they just burned down like one or two boats and basically the rest just stopped? I guess that's how
Yeah,
that went down.
I
yeah,
guess, yeah, they surrendered at that point.
yeah. Burn those two boats, killed those two dudes. No.
Yeah. They could have thrown some catapults at them.
Yeah, but them dragons would have fucked them up. Come on now.
Well, a bunch of pussies.
I
They
mean,
could
but
have
that
tried.
was also a very important thing that needed to happen to further the story, I think. Because I think we talked about this a couple times over the last couple of weeks, where it's like that really needs to move forward. She needs to get to Westeros, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Especially if it's on the wrap up. So, like, this episode was like basically what needed to happen. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
oh, of course she's going to win. Of course they're going to show up and make a pact. Because I mean, how it's going to go? What are you going to do? Another season of her sitting in Marine? It's like, come on.
Well, yeah, no, it's
It's
too
like
late. Well, I
this
mean, she's
needs.
in pretty good position now. She's got a decent sized army with the Dothraki, the what are they called? The Grey
Well,
Worm, his little group. I forgot what
well,
they're
that was
called.
kind of the point of the ship. She
Unsullied.
needed enough ships to actually transport all of her
Well,
army.
yeah. Now she has the ships, and now the dragons are fully grown. Because that was the key part, like in a couple seasons ago, was that she couldn't really do anything while her dragons were still like babies, essentially.
Yeah,
Now they're
juveniles. Yeah.
basically full grown. So, yeah, I mean, she's ready to go.
Yeah. Now, I don't know about you, since we're about to transition, but did you kind of feel like after Daenerys won so decisively, did you think it was going to go bad for Jon? I was like, there's no way there's going to be like two big victories in a row. If she
No,
had
I
such a
didn't
good
think that at all.
victory,
No.
I was kind of
Yeah.
immediately thinking this might not bode well for Jon then, because
Well, yeah. So, I mean, let's get into that. I thought it was a really good battle. I mean, I thought it was really well done.
well, well, let's start a little bit sooner than that. That part with Rickon.
Uh, well, I mean, like Sansa said, you knew he was gonna die. It was just a matter of how.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. How do they exactly beat that entire army without Rickon getting killed in the process somehow? Like
Well, yeah, and I mean, I didn't think he was gonna trample him out like there like that. I thought maybe he would have used him as a pawn, like, oh well, don't bust in here, else we'll kill him, type of thing.
which is probably what he should have done. But he
Yeah.
was so confident that his army would win, he used Rickon more as a demoralization
Well, yeah,
tactic.
even the fact that he brought his army out there, they probably wouldn't have been able to do shit if they had just stayed inside their walls.
Yeah. Well, there's some amazing cinematography and camera tricks used during that bit where he's standing down, the horse is coming at him, and right before they're about to hit him,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
horses come into
Oh
frame and just
man,
like smash
I was a
through.
little bit disappointed by that. I wanted to see him go ham at on the horses charging into him though. I mean, there wouldn't
Yeah,
have
but
been.
you
He would
can't
have.
go ham.
Well,
You just
yeah,
ran him
he would
over.
have got like he would have got like 2 good neck cuts in though. Like he would have chopped 2 horses down real quick at least, and then he would have got trampled. But
I mean, shit. You remember that part where some guy like on the battlefield was running at him, and this horse comes through and just smashes the dude that was running
well,
at him, and
yeah.
that was his one horse.
Well,
You
like I
know,
was saying
and
about
there's
that, about the end, like the developers, like they were talking, or not developers, but the producers, they were talking about how they really wanted to capture just how hectic it was and just how like lucky you had to be to survive something like that. 'Cause, I mean, like you said, John's good, but he got lucky a shitload of times in that fight to come out alive.
well, yeah. I mean, you had Ramsey just spraying arrows.
Yeah,
Didn't care if
arrows
he hit his
everywhere.
men or, well, yeah, because he was hitting into his own men. You know,
Yeah,
he sent his own men in and was just throwing arrows up randomly. Whoever it hit, it hit.
yeah.
Yeah, so
That and then
you just
horses
being on the
flying by
field was a roll of the
everywhere,
dice.
and people coming at every angle, and then he gets
Yeah.
trampled, and he's under like that was a crazy thing too. I thought was a huge pile of dead bodies. I mean, that was ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
Mountain
and
Yeah.
him
dead
like he
bodies.
can't even get air. He's being trampled so much.
Well, yeah, but it's like they're
He's
literally
fighting.
climbing up a hill of dead bodies. The shit's like 10 feet tall. Well, not more than that. So the shit was like 20 feet tall.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
it was really well done.
Yeah. And I like that little. Kind of reminded me of like the Spartans formation, where they surround them with the shields, and then they have a guy behind with the staff poking through the shield.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they're like closing them in, and then they got the wall of dead bodies on the other end, cutting them off. I thought that was a cool scene.
yeah, there were definitely some great bits in there. Although in some ways I was mildly disappointed because I'm kind of like, I mean, I might be skipping ahead here, but like, who's the main villain now?
Sparrow dude, maybe.
Yeah, I know that's the speculation. See, I honestly thought, like, I didn't think John would die again, but I honestly thought that they were going to lose the battle. But like, certain key characters survive it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I really thought they were going to go the route of making Ramsey like the overall villain. Like that he would win this battle, truly take the north, fucking start taking the south, you know what I mean? And then Daenerys has to come
Well-
in and he'd be the main villain. Like I really thought that was the way it was going to go.
I think the only person that could be kind of considered a villain now would be Walder Frey.
Wait, who is it? Doesn't barely has an army.
Yeah, but
That
I mean,
totally
outside
has
of that,
bullshit that Jamie took over like 2 episodes ago.
outside of that, I mean, I think it's going to be the White Walkers. They're going to be the real main villain.
I mean, I guess, but there's just like no communication there. Like the villain doesn't. He's not exactly a villain with panache.
Yeah.
He just has like this. He just has that evil look. I guess. I mean, maybe.
Well, I
he'll
just
start
meant
being
as
conversationalist.
villain in the sense that that's who all majority of the characters are going to be fighting against. But I think with Daenerys coming into play, you're also going to kind of get that. I don't know, maybe not necessarily battle for the Iron Throne, but with the Lannisters, they might bring the
Battle for
what is it,
identity.
the Martells back. Now you got the Starks back
Well,
kind
that's
of in
true.
play.
I mean, there could be some weird thing where the Martells team up with the Sparrows and they become huge. But then, like you said, obviously there's the Night King. I mean,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, the true ending's probably going to be for humanity. Like
Yeah.
they all come together, or whatever will come together to take on the Night King. And
I think Bran had a big role to play this season, but I think he's going to be huge in the next 2 seasons. I mean, there's something that's going to be big with him.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
not
used
sure
to
what, but-
watching a Game of Thrones episode and it be so in favor of the good guys.
Oh, no.
This doesn't feel.
I'm pretty sure this was like really the first time that the good guys won. Like in terms of they actually got Winterfell back, and then Sansa got her revenge on Ramsay. I mean, I can't think of any other.
Well, yeah, but also Daenerys. That's what I'm saying. Not only that, but her winning the decisive victories against the Masters, and she's got her fleet.
Yeah, but
They take
not
the
like-
north. The
gotten some
Stark
victories
banners
before,
are
though.
flying again.
she's gotten some
Yeah,
victories
but not like
before.
this.
Yeah,
No, but I'm saying like on an episode, like the whole episode was basically like a victory for the good guys. You
yeah,
know, it's
true.
like pretty much from top to bottom, with the exception of like Rickon dying and I guess the giant guy. You know what I mean? Yeah, Rickon dying was like kind of the one negative, but he was never
Yeah.
exactly like. I
Well, that's the
mean,
thing
the
too.
poor
They were
dude
talking
sucks.
about like the true heir of the North, but they all think that Bran is dead, and Bran's the real true heir because he's Rickon's older brother.
Well, no, they all kind of know Bran's alive now.
They
Remember,
do?
Theon told everybody. Yeah, Theon told everybody.
Well, he
Townsend
said he
knows.
didn't. He said he didn't kill him, but they don't know he's alive. He could have died, by a fucking twig in the woods or some shit.
Twig. Yeah, he crawling and shit
Well,
stabs
I
him
mean,
and stuff.
I get. Well,
The
I mean,
fool
but
can't walk. He could have easily died out in the north.
Yeah.
well, yeah, but I guess you're right. They don't know his fate, but I mean, there's no reason. Just like there's no reason to assume he's alive, there's no reason to assume he's dead either. You're basically just
Well,
hoping
yeah,
he's
but
alive.
yeah,
So,
but they knew that Rickon was alive, and so they just kind of put him in that place. But Bran, could easily come back
I mean,
into
he's
play.
with Benjen now. Shit, you would think. I mean, beyond all things seem pretty bleak. You would think at this point Benjen would be bringing him back to John. I mean, because what else has he even got to do beyond the wall at this point?
I mean,
what-
he could bring him back to the wall, and then from there they could go back to Winterfell now that that's safe. So yeah, he could meet back up with them. Be Bran, Sansa, and Jon all together.
I mean, now that those like Children of the Forest people are all dead, and the old Three-Eyed Ravens are dead, and everything. I mean, all the wildlings have either ran south or are dead. There's really nothing there. But White Walkers at this point, I mean, shit, you would think they'd be heading straight south.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean,
Other than the only thing is maybe because they kind of hinted at that there's more, I don't know, old god power in the north beyond the wall. So maybe there has something to do with that, like some special area, some special place they have to go to.
Yeah. Well, that's what I assumed that one dude was gonna do. His uncle.
Vengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like take it to some like secret ritual place or something like that out in the
give him
woods.
his walking back or whatever, his mobility back or some shit.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, right now there's a lot of questions. Like, okay, it's like I have a rough idea where the show's going, but at the same time I don't. And
Mhm.
like I think that's why the next episode's 69 minutes. It's like the longest episode ever because I think it's exactly what I'm saying is like there's a lot to set up for now. Like the whole next episode, that long ass 69 minutes is going to be all just set up and teases and cliffhangers for like
Which is
going
gonna
into
hurt,
the true
but
end game.
it's gonna be like every, after like 20 minutes, it's gonna be like every 7 minutes or so is gonna be like a cliffhanger for someone's storyline.
I expect a frustrating episode. I agree with you, where like everything's gonna be like, and bang, cut away.
Yeah.
Like, every single scene is gonna be
Where
like
everyone's
gonna
gonna be like a walking
Yeah.
shot of them like walking off into the sunset, and it'll be like until next season or something.
or
yeah.
something crazy about to happen, and then it cuts away, or and it's like, no, oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm fully expecting frustration.
Well, so I
next
took a
week,
look
but
at the little trailer for next week, and I mean it showed there's a bunch of stuff going down with Tommen, Marjorie, Loras, all of them in King's Landing. It seems like that trial is going down for, I don't know, Marjorie or Tom or Loras or both maybe.
No, the trials for Loras, but Loras and
Oh, and
Cersei.
Cersei. Right.
Because remember, Marjorie, I think, was forgiven.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
like the
she
whole
was.
thing. She
Oh, yeah, she
didn't
was
have to
forgiven
make her
for bringing in
atonement.
Tommen. Right.
Yeah,
So yeah,
she was
so Loras and Cersei. So, I mean,
But we
that'll
already
be-
know Marjorie's up to something. They've already hinted
Mhm.
at that several times. So
Probably he's staying alive.
What if
really
we've always
sad.
been talking about? Well, nah, I guess that's wouldn't happen. I was gonna say maybe if Marjorie somehow struck a deal with the Martells. We've always been talking about the Martells teaming up with the Sparrows, but
I feel like the Martells have to be in next week's episode. Like after the way the first episode went, and then you never saw them again. Like they've got to be in that final episode, right? I mean, there's got to be some tease with them.
it'd be really weird if they weren't. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really whack.
it showed Rob and Sansa. I don't think that's really going to go anywhere in the next, in terms of like the next episode to set up much. I don't think there's really much to set up there, other than like them kind of trying to hold the North now. You know, with kind of like
Yeah.
a
Shit,
crippled
who they even
family.
got to hold it from other than
Well,
Night
yeah,
King?
but in the little episode teaser, they said that Rob was telling, or not Rob, John was telling Sansa like we have to be careful against our enemies. And I'm like, the phrase, I guess. I'm not even sure who your enemies are at this point.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Other than the Night King clearly coming at some point, you seem like you're pretty good at the moment.
Or
Right.
maybe,
All them people they just killed, maybe their families and
well,
theirs.
yeah, I was gonna say maybe the other bannermen that kind of abandoned them. You know,
Yeah.
maybe some of them. I don't
The
really
only
see
other
them
thing I can think
attacking
of
them.
is Finger, like, because you know he's up to no good. He always is. Like, this is everything he does is like a play for him. I mean, he showed up with Sansa and kind of saved the day, but it's like saving the day only in part. I'm sure
Yeah.
that'll turn south at some point because he's now got like pretty much control of what is that army called?
The
The
Veil.
Knights of the Vale or some shit like that.
Yeah, he's got control of all the Vale guys. So we'll see.
One thing I thought was interesting that they showed was Davos confronting Melisandre, because now he basically put two and two together that uh, the little girl was killed, was burned alive.
For
You
no
know,
reason.
yeah,
Yeah, they kind of throw that he's at the burning site. He's probably I mean, they didn't do much with it other than him finding it, but yeah, I'm sure he's not a happy camper.
yeah. I mean, I'm not sure how
Although
that'll
you would
play
think
out.
he would just as much blame Stannis, who's already dead now.
Yeah, but he wouldn't
Yeah,
have done
but
that
nah,
without
but
that
he
girl.
blames Melisandre for whispering stuff is in his ear, and he knows that she's the one that pushed
Well, yeah,
him.
I guess
That
he did even
Stannis
say
would.
that this episode.
Yeah, no, he didn't bring it up at all this episode. That's all next
Oh, no, I
episode.
thought he did. That's what I'm saying. That he kind of brought up like that he was plagued by demons and stuff. And
Oh, I meant that he
That
didn't
was
bring up
before
the girl.
he brought that up before he found that though. When he was
Yeah.
talking to that dude.
well, yeah, I know, but that kind of led into him finding that.
No,
Yeah,
no,
he
I
was
was just
convinced.
saying he would blame Melisandre because he knows that she's the one whispering stuff into his ear, and Stannis wouldn't have burned his kid alive, by his own
Nah.
accord. He knows it was her doing that led to that.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm not sure. There's obviously some, important connection with Melisandre and John there. You would think with the, Lord of Light bringing him back to life. So I'm
Yeah,
not sure how
well,
that plays out.
I assume you saw all the images on Twitter where it was like Saga Fire and Ice.
No.
You didn't? You remember that scene a couple of seasons ago where it ended? Just look up, just search like hashtag Game of Thrones. You'll see it a bunch. Where it's like Daenerys. Remember that scene a couple of seasons ago where she freed all the slaves and they're all like in a circle trying to touch her?
Uh huh.
Where
Saying like mom or mother or whatever.
Yeah, she's like surrounded by people, and it's all done in like very like earth tones and reds, and then it's got like and there's like this shot where it's like from the sky looking down, so you can see all the people. But then like in last night's episode, there's like the shot of like John like kind of escaping. Remember how he couldn't get air, and
Uh
he pops up, and there's like hundreds of people around him, and they're all kind of blurred out, 'cause they're all muddy, but his face is white, and he's right in the center, and it's all in blue tones. So there's like this image GIF, whatever you want to call it, like all over Twitter, where it's got
oh.
her all in red, surrounded by people, and him all in blue, surrounded by people, with them in the center. And it's like a song of fire and ice, her being the fire and him being the ice.
Yeah, well, that's always been the main theory is that they're the, I don't know, symbols of that, of fire and ice.
Yeah, that they may even be related, like half brothers, one
Yeah.
sister, whatever, all that shit. That it's all about them. So yeah. That and the other GIF I saw a lot of was people feeding their dogs. It's so stupid.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I did want to bring
People
that up.
dumping dog food.
That was the, but that was like we were saying, win for the good guys. I mean, that was a pretty. I mean, that has to be right up there with like a win for the good guy. One of the best scenes in terms of like wins for the good guys. So now
Yeah, pretty much one of the only ones when you get right down
Yeah.
to it.
I mean, him thinking basically right up until the end that he would be able to connive his way out of there somehow, and fucking dogs just tore at him.
Yeah, that was way more satisfying than Joffrey dying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that has to be like one of the
Well,
most
that's because
satisfying
the
moments.
right people got him. that was always my complaint with Joffrey. Is that like all
Well,
the
not
people
the
he
man.
fucked over, they're not even the ones who get the revenge. It's like who gets it? Littlefinger and the fucking grandma. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? This is not justice. You know? In the
That
case of
ain't that
him, it
wasn't my
was.
problem with that. My problem was it wasn't brutal enough.
Well, yeah.
It just coughed.
Well, that too, but like the whole scene of John just beating the fucking pulp out of him,
Yeah, that's what I'm
and then
saying.
Yeah,
Sansa
that's
feeding
true.
him to the
Yeah.
dogs.
Although I'm not sure how they got him in there and the cage open. That just like was magically the scenario.
There was a bunch of an elaborate string set that
Yeah.
they all pulled and all the pins
and they
went
all
off.
opened. Yeah. Whatever. But all right, we'll go along with
And
it.
then they
Good
all
scene.
run away. Okay, but look good for the camera. Yeah, I saw like one image on Twitter where it was like Ramsay's face on a bag of like pedigree dog food or something.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, people make some stupid shit.
Dog food.
Yeah, it was like a bag of like dog food, and it's like him on there. It's like feed your dogs.
Well, so episode 10 next week. After that, we'll have to find some other show, spoil some people on.
Yeah.
I know. Problem is, it's actually kind of going to that bad time of year that people might just have to.
Well, did you see the
until like Walking Dead or something?
the Westworld trailer? I mean, that's obviously fall, but
Yeah, that actually looks
That
like it
looks
would be
good.
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that looks really good. And besides, I want to see naked people make a table-like formation.
What?
You don't remember us talking about that a few months ago? Like
He
months
does.
ago. Oh, this was like before. There was this whole thing where like the contract for extras went out for Westworld, and it was like if you were going to be an extra on Westworld, you had to be willing to do all this shit. It involved like nudity, and one of the
Oh,
things
yeah, I
done
do
was, like,
remember you mentioning that.
form a table-like position while nude, fully nude was like one of the things, and the thing they had to sign. Like, come on, how could you not want to watch this show after reading that disclaimer?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have been all over
Yeah,
that.
if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, just search like Westworld, like disclaimer, like NDA or something, NDA disclaimer for extras on Westworld. I'm sure you'll find it. It was like 6 months ago or something. It's a pretty great read.
All right, so we'll be back again next week, episode 10. Do we know the title name for that one, do we? Should look it up.
Off the top of my head, I'm sure it's been released if you checked IMDb or something.
Yeah, I just read it yesterday. I can't remember what the hell it was. The name is out there though.
Okay, well, that's fine. So, season finale next week.
Yep, one more.
All right, later.
Bye.